we'll go ahead and get started with Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, E. Thanks, Frank. How are you doing today?
Good, Joe. You? All good?
Good. Not 9,000 degrees. Can't complain today.
Yeah.
Curious, just with this Miami team, they love to get out early and try to get an early lead or try to get the match in their favor early on. I'm curious kind of what the mentality is this week when you're going against a team that wants to do that, especially after the NYC game where it was early issues and then coming back in the end.
Yeah, I just think we have to be ready for a fast start. I think that's it. I think the game on NYCFC, I felt that you also saw a team that was not sharp. I think that's I think big factor in that had to do with us not having played a competitive match almost in 3.5 weeks. So I think that played a little bit into that, but I think it's yeah, we know they want a fast start. We have to be ready, knowing that they want to come out and try to take an early lead, and we just have to be ready for that. We have to, match the intensity, be focused, come with good energy and intensity. Then most important thing is that as a team, there's got to be a commitment. When we do things, we have to do all together, move together as a group, and there's no difference. And I think that than the game that we lost down there. They came out fast. I think that the game settled down. Then we got more on the ball. Then we had opportunities. We scored a nice goal. And then obviously that late goal that we gave up. So we just need to make sure that we're mentally focused and prepared for a fast start from them, but also for us to come out with energy. We're playing at home, great atmosphere. It's going to be fantastic crowd, and these are the games that that we need to come out and take advantage of the home field that we have.
Understood. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Next, we'll go with Charlie Boehm from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey, Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, Charlie, great.
Thanks for speaking as always. I spoke with Dave Baldwin a little bit yesterday about the efforts to kind of get set for a fresh start. I know there's going to be some changes ahead, and there's already been changes in the summer window, and I'm wondering to get your insight, especially with this game this weekend being such a big chance to make a statement, introduce yourself to the community or maybe fans that aren't coming out week to week. How do you see things in the big picture and trying to kind of keep moving forward after the difficulties of the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's moments like this that you have to take advantage of these opportunities. We were in the same kind of situation last year where, we had played Miami, sold out crowd. We came, and these are the moments where you got to grasp these opportunities. Like you said, you got a lot of people that maybe don't come out to games. Maybe they want to come experience soccer for the first time, and I always feel that I think you have to I mean, winning is always the most important thing, but it's also make it exciting for the fans that come out to the game. I felt last year's game here was very entertaining, was exciting, 5 goals scored. So the fans, it's still about coming out and enjoying the performance that the players put on the field, and that can only happen if both teams come out and play attacking soccer. And I expect that to happen again this year. But you're right. I mean, moments like this is you have to grab these opportunities and make the best of it, and make sure that if it's people coming out for the first time, that they get excited about the team, and then they come back and support us next year, either in certain games or buy season tickets.
One more for me along those lines. What is the vibe in the locker room? How has your sort of message been to the team? Because I know still plenty to play for here.
Yeah, no, I think obviously we can look what we've done from the past up to this point, and I think that's always important because you look to always improve as a team. But right now, I think the most important thing is what I told the team is that it's crucial how we finish the game. You can change the narrative, you can change perspective, and I think people can always remember the last games that you play or how you finish the season. Sometimes they don't always remember the first game or the middle part of the season. There's been ups and downs, but in the end of the day, we're sitting ourselves and 5-6 other teams, and that's how it is with MLS. It comes down to the wire every year, that we're fighting for a spot. So the games really mean something now, but it's in our hands. I mean, this is a big game, obviously, but the next 3 games are at home for us. So it's a huge opportunity against really good teams that we've played well. Now to play well consistently. I think the mentality of the team has been one for me that has never ever given up. Even through our ups and downs, I think we've dealt like most teams with injuries throughout the season. Maybe us a little bit more than other teams, but now we're healthy, and we have a golden opportunity in front of us to finish really strong. And there's a lot on the line for the players, for all of us. I mean, and we want to finish strong. And like I said, you can change the narrative, you can change perspective, you can change the way people perceive you just by the way you finish the season. And I'm excited because I think this games really means something. There's something on the line. There's more pressure, and I feel that always brings the best out of players.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Charles. Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Jim.
So, this is obviously really a second half of the season, but just the locker room and just in general, things maybe calm down a bit. It just seems like on the field, like guys like Hugo seem just to be more, things slow down in a sense. Like even the goal he scored, I don't know if that would have happened earlier in the season, maybe with the distraction sort of who's on a roster, who's not. I mean, there's now clarity sort of where this season's going to and kind of what happens after, even with, the management part. Did you sense a sort of a shift in the locker room just with players and even within the coaching staff that there's clarity sort of thing? You sort of know what to expect going through the end of the season.
I mean, I just feel, I think if you take, I think the player situation is a little bit different. I mean, you bring a new player in, he wants to do well. So I think maybe he's early on. I mean, the guy came in with Hugo, great mentality, and maybe he's pushing things a little too much and not let things come to him and the game come to him at times. But that's just a mentality because he wanted really to prove himself and to give back to the team that rewarded him with bringing him here. And, he scored 10 goals. I mean, he's always creates opportunities and chances in goal. I think more calm. I think more calm. I think, look, when you score goals, I think, maybe the pressure is a little bit off, but as a striker, I know that for him, it's always when he's on the field, he wants to score, but, he's helped the team, whether he's scoring or not. He's always a guy that always, finds ways to be positive for the group and does the little things right. I think with the rest of the team, look, there's 9 games left. I think everybody, Jim, is in a different situation. I think there's guys that right now there's a lot riding for them and for all of us. I think there's guys that they're coming in end of contracts. There are guys that are on option years, and it all depends. It's still about performance and being successful on the field. I think when there's changes, there's a change on the top, there's a change that's going to be made. Sometimes there's for sure uncertainty, but I think sometimes being on the edge a little bit and not knowing what the future might bring the best out of situations, best out of players. But I think for me, it's also been good that we've gotten guys healthy right now and everybody's pushing. They're competing hard for roster spot, and it's not going to be easy now to finalize the 18, 20-man roster because it's getting really competitive, which is good. That's what you want. But so I think every situation is different, and I think with Hugo, I think he's settled in. He's adjusted to his teammates, to the league, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. Obviously, scoring and playing well has helped, played a big factor into that.
And quick follow-up, do you expect for the remaining 9 games to maybe bring up some of the young guys from the Fire 2 potentially? Is that still an option?
To bring up, Jim? No, I mean, to get on the field, you have to earn that right. That's the thing. I mean, I watch the second team play. We bring guys in training. For us, we got to put the best team to win games, man. This is not about, the opportunities. You have to earn that, and for us, the first team, we need to get results and we need to win.
All right, Coach. See you Saturday.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Joe, do you have another question?
I'm all set. I'll bother Frank on Saturday. Thank you.
All right, Joe. Thanks, guys. See you Saturday.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you everyone on the call. We'll be back with us today. We'll go right ahead and get started. The first person with his hand up was Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, Chris, for the time. As always, hope you're having a nice day.
You as well.
Thank you. Curious, Frank just talked about, everyone understandably feeling a little bit of pressure this week, just not only the expectations going forward, trying to get a playoff spot, but with a higher profile match. I'm curious if you feel the same way and just how you're handling said pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that pressure last week. It's just going to be for me, I think a game to game sort of thing. I know it's a higher profile game, like you said, but for me, we really have a chance to do something special if we get the results we need. So if we treat them like finals, like Frank has been saying, I feel that pressure every week. So yeah, I would say that's sort of the same feeling as well throughout the locker room, is that whether it's this game, the next one, or the next one, I'm sure that that pressure is still going to be there.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Charles Boehm from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey, Chris, a pleasure to speak with you today. I appreciate your insight. I know there's the pressure of the playoff run, and then in the bigger picture, you guys are still working to reintroduce the club and connect with new fans and build the fan base. And I figure you as a homegrown have some perspective on that. What is that like in the locker room? Do you guys talk about it? Is it something you think about, kind of that bigger picture of growing the Fire fan base, and especially for a big game like this weekend?
I wouldn't necessarily say that's something that's like talked about, or I'm not even sure it's a feeling shared within the locker room. But like you said, for me as a homegrown, it's extremely important to be connected to the club and the club's fans. So I know there's quite a bit of things that I've done and a lot of the guys on the team have done to sort of grow that connection with off the field stuff, whether it's player appearances or charity work. I know that that always helps the fan base grow. And then yeah, just doing everything we can to let our fans know that we hear them and that we're doing everything week in and week out to hopefully give them the performances that they want and the results that they want. So I know for me, that's always something that helps let a fan base know that they're heard. But yeah, it's important. I don't know. Yeah, it's something I guess I really haven't thought about.
And then also with the kind of events of the last few weeks with Shaq moving on and learning that Georg is moving on. How's that reverberated, I guess, for you guys? I know there's still hope, right, with the playoff race still in front of you, and maybe a sense of positive evolution in that longer term, looking ahead to the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the mindset right now is obviously on that playoff run. I know when those two things happened, sort of simultaneously, it was threw everybody for a little bit of a loop, but I wouldn't say it knocked everybody off their off their footing. The guys have done pretty well, I think, as you saw last week, to sort of put the past behind them, and we take each game now as a final. They're going to be missed for sure, but we still have a job to do. So I think that's sort of what's going around the locker room right now, is we're all just trying to go game to game and make something happen.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Liz Jimenez with La Ley.
Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. Here, kind of, to know about this game. It's Inter Miami. It comes with all these legend players that have come to MLS. Is this for you guys that you get prepared for a regular game? Doesn't matter that it's Inter Miami, or how do you are the team? What's the dialogue in the locker room regarding this game? I know it's Inter Miami, but is it for you that you get say, okay, this is a regular game. We need just to be ready and concentrated the 98 minutes of the game to have the victory and try to go and follow that playoffs situation,
Yeah, we prepare for this like it's a regular MLS game. Obviously, it's a higher profile game because we know it's going to be in front of a bigger crowd, and like you said, with some quality players on the other end. But no matter who they put on the field, we're studying them. We know what to expect, and we'll have a game plan put in place. So we definitely have been treating it like a regular game, preparing for it like a regular game.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hey, Chris. Oh, there I am. Hey, Chris, thanks for taking the time. Kind of going off the last question, in a sense, do you allow yourself maybe prior to the game, after, to, like, you're a young guy, you're kind of just starting your career, you're a local, Chicagoland kid, like, to go back and think like, wow, I'm actually playing against guys like Suarez, who I watch in Barcelona, Busquets, Alba. Do you ever kind of go back and just like soak in the moment and kind of take it in to even reinforce like your hard work where it got you to this point, that you're on a level to face sort of these guys that you grew up watching literally as legends?
Yeah, I like that question. That's sort of an after the season feeling for me. Yeah, that's sort of something that sets in maybe months or even a year after. Especially, like, I can tell you, looking back on film for myself last year, which I do every now and again just to prepare for games now. But yeah, that's sort of a feeling that sets in when it's maybe a year later. It's crazy to think, but yeah, it's not something I commonly do, in the moment, to reinforce that feeling. But that is definitely the reaction I get from myself, saying to myself like, wow, that did take a lot of hard work to put myself in a situation where I'm playing against teams like this, I'm playing against players like this. So yeah, I like that question, but no, it's something that sets in a little after the season.
Well, you earned it. Thanks for sharing it. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Joe, I see your hand is up. Do you have another question for Chris?
Oh yeah, I gotta bother Christopher too.
Cool.
Of course. Tobias is getting more and more time on the field, gets his first assist. Curious how you've experienced working with him and seeing him kind of find this role.
Yeah, I know, like earlier in the season, he sort of was, getting into a rhythm, and then unfortunately dealt with an injury, but he's back. And he's same old confident Toby, funny guy in the locker room. Love the guy, and yeah, I mean, I say it with all my defenders, but whoever they put in front of me, they have 100% faith from me. I trust them with everything I've got to make the right plays, make the right decisions, and also have that trust in me behind them. So I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy with the work I've seen him put in to get back to this point. So hopefully it's sky's the limit for him.
All right, I gotta ask you one more thing. Hypothetically, of course, hypothetically, if you
Mhm.
were ever to throw a pitch in a baseball scenario, would you go off the mound or from the grass?
What's MLB distance?
60 feet, 6
60?
inches.
Okay, I've been getting out to that's from
The
the
top of the mound
right?
is 66,
Okay,
60 feet.
I've been practicing from there, so I won't cut it short. I've been practicing from whatever the pitchers pitch from.
Noted. We will be breaking that down later.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Alex Calabrese from Men in Red 97.
Hey Chris, nice to speak with you. I'm unfortunately going to have to follow up an Inter Miami game question after that fun question. But looking back at last year's game, I know it was a great experience for everybody on and off the field. I think it's a memory that most Fire fans will look fondly back on. Do you have any lessons from that first experience in front of such a big crowd like that you can use going into another game like this?
Yeah, I would say lessons would be to start the game as sharp as you possibly can and as fast as you possibly can. With a game like this, there's really no room to warm up to the game. There's really no room to, allow yourself to break into the game, take your time. You really gotta, from the first whistle, start at 100%. So that's one of the biggest lessons I think I took from, especially this last game as well, but even last year's game. Can't start slow. And then the importance of, I know unfortunately last year we weren't able to keep the clean sheet, but keeping the guys in it, at least from my end and the back line's end, keeping the guys in it by keeping you know, a shutout. That always helps everybody with belief and the ability to get out of the game with a result. So yeah, I guess those are the two big lessons. And also you know, it's going to be a packed house, so it's going to be loud.
And I guess also looking back last year, the situation was kind of familiar where you didn't really 100% know the status of a certain player on the other team, and you needed really to get some points on the board in the playoff race. Does it feel different this year than it did last year? Is there a different sense of feeling around this game, or is it similar?
I'd say there's a little more hype around it. It's a little bit of a higher profile game. I didn't necessarily feel this amount of pressure with last year's game. Not that it's pressure we can't handle, but I'd say it's a little more. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. See you this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. That's all we got for today, Chris. Thank you so much.
Thank you, E.
Thanks, y'all.